Ladies, gentlemen, boys, and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the Friday Eve Spectacular, where we get you going today, get you ready for tomorrow, the Friday Eve Spectacular. And for those of us that go to work, unlike some people on this show, when you get to work tomorrow and you go into the lunchroom, there's gonna be people talking. It's gonna be somebody in the back with the Keurig getting their coffee. It's gonna be somebody putting their lunch in the thing. It's gonna be somebody coming in late. And there's gonna be somebody in there still in the lunch from yesterday. And at that point, all four people gonna turn and ask what you did last night. And somebody gonna say, well, last night I watched the most dynamic, the most electrifying, the best way to celebrate Friday Eve. And they were like, what is it? He said, it's the Thursday night Throwdown. Yeah, baby. And that's how we start off the Friday Eve Spectacular. That is known as the Thursday night Throwdown. I think this is Sarah's first time seeing this, and that's hilarious. With that being said, fellas, how you doing? How you feeling? Everybody's looking at me.
Feeling good, man. On top of the world.
And with that being said, the man that just talked to me was the big guy, KG. The other guy is the gentleman, Jack. I am the man they call the Midnight Rider. We're going to have some guests hop in with us today as well. People from the Drive Time show. Drive Time. Maddie Ice and Showtime Sarah. But right now, as we always do, this is the point of the show where I turn it over to the host and let him do his thing.
Well, good evening, everybody. Hope everybody's feeling great. It's one of those shows we got to start it off a little sad. Mike Wagner, safety of the Steelers of the 70s. Four-time Super Bowl champion, first-team All-Pro in 73, second-team All-Pro in 76, two-time Pro Bowler in 75 and 76, led the NFL in interceptions in 73. Pittsburgh Steelers all-anniversary, 50th anniversary team, Hall of Honor, and Pittsburgh Pro Football Hall of Fame. Passed away on the 18th, which was yesterday, of pancreatic cancer. He was 76. He had a crucial interception in Super Bowl 10. He picked Roger Staubach off as they were driving down. If you are familiar with the show, you know that I watch America's Game, and I got to have it in my veins. He was on the one for the 1975 Steelers. And he talked about Lynn Swann coming into camp and them laying the lumber to Lynn Swann. And he's like, the next day they talked about defensive backs are no longer allowed to drive receivers into the ground. And they called it the Lynn Swann rule. Very intelligent safety who played ferociously, but also played smart. Of course, I did not watch him play live. He played from 1971 to 1980. He was an 11th round pick in 71, the 268th pick. And he also had the most interceptions in the playoffs. And what's crazy is they didn't even know this cat was going to be a defensive back when he came into the league. They thought he was a receiver. He wound up switching to defensive back and went and had himself a career. So rest in peace to Mike Wagner, number 23. If you look at the original Steel Curtain defense, Mean Joe Green's the only D lineman you got left. You got Jack Ham and Jack Lambert left as your linebackers. Andy Russell passed away late last year. Donnie Shell and Mel Blunt and Glenn Edwards are left with your DBs. So losing a lot off of the Steel Curtain defense. Still think that defense needs to go into the Hall of Fame as a unit for how dominant they once were. Gentlemen, Jack.
One thing I I thought was pretty cool about Mike Wagner, where he played college ball. He played college. He's an Illinois guy. Um, Went to high school in Illinois, but he played college ball at Western Illinois, and their nickname was the Leathernecks. The Leathernecks. I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, everything KG said about Mike Wagner, man, hard hitting safety, drafted in the 11th round. Yeah, as a wide receiver is what they thought he was, but turned into a damn good safety. MR?
Absolutely correct. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say let's make the transition.
Well, again, rest in peace to Mike Wagner. For those that cannot see it fully, let me just do this real quick and advertise. But I made a background just for him, just to steal his helmet to say R.I.P. Mike Wagner. Just something to put on up there. But respectfully, we have to move on. So with us moving on, I'm going to bring in none other than Matty Ice and Showtime Sarah from Drive Time, which airs on Mondays at 5 p.m. to talk a little Winter Olympic hockey.
Yes. What do you got up, Sarah? I can't see what she says. I thought she had something up there. Like I thought she's doing like a little prop there, a little bit there or something for us there. I know it's gone. What's up, guys? How we doing?
Good. How you doing, man?
Oh, I don't know. Just on top of the world right now after that game today. Oh my goodness gracious, was the heart flying. There you go. Oh, you can start counting the hair flops there, Jack. There's one.
I just got here. Leave me alone.
No, that's their bit now with you. So now I might add that to our list on drive time now. I think we'll start putting Sarah's hair flops and hates. We'll combine them into one. See what outscores the other.
Well, the over under on hair flops is 6.5 tonight.
Tonight, all right. We'll see how that line goes out. That's for sure. What do you guys want to start with, women's, or you want to go with the men's, or what do you want to do?
I mean, we got to start with the crescendo from today. So let's go with the matching maker.
All right. Well, I guess we will mention the bronze medal game because the bronze medal was won today too. That game also went to overtime, also 2-1 score. Switzerland defeated the Sweden 2-1. Great game. Another one of these ones where this one wasn't tied. It was tied at 1 going into the third period. They got to the 9th minute overtime, and there was just a beautiful pass from Way to Muller, and Muller buries her 4th of the tournament. It's the first medal for Switzerland since 2014. So congrats to the Swiss on beating a really good Sweden team. Those are, so it's in the women's hockey right now, it's the battle for who's third. So this time around, it's going to be Switzerland. We'll see. Sweden's got a lot of young folks. I think Sweden could, that they could maybe, we'll see what they do in 4 years. I think we could maybe see Sweden make some noise. They've got a lot of young girls on a team, and they are all playing over in the U.S. in college hockey right now. So watch out for Sweden in 4 years. That they could be, maybe they're the ones that can challenge the U.S. and Canada. But what a show the U.S. and Canada put on. So, Sarah, you saw the bronze medal game too, didn't you? Uh-oh.
Think she's
there. We need to bet over under on my internet cutting out. That's yes. I think it's like already the second time.
That would be like 8.5, I think.
Okay. So thankfully the Switzerland game was during my break, so I was able to watch the ending of it at least. I texted my dad. Switzerland won in that game a little bit more, which was kind of shocking because like I was fairly confident that Sweden had it. But Switzerland just had way more opportunities throughout the game. There were several chances where they could end that game earlier in overtime. Yeah. There's multiple on it, I think it definitely messed with Sweden's strings a little bit because usually the difference between energy was crazy. But Sweden is still play pretty game. I mean, it's a 2-1 game. It's very competitive, and if anything, obviously the gold medal game was interesting too, but the bronze medal game was played like a gold medal game as well, I would say. But
shout out to the goalie for the Swiss, Brendley, who made 32 or 33 saves, who plays her college hockey at the Ohio State University. Just wanted to throw that out there, where she plays.
Okay.
Since I know someone loves Ohio State on this show here, right, KG?
Oh.
Right, KG?
A Buckeye, a worthless nut.
Oh wait,
so
wait! I didn't tell it, but I have a rental car because I'm getting my car fixed. Guess what the plate is?
Ohio?
OHIO.
No, it's Michigan.
Michigan. Oh boy.
People are gonna think I'm from Michigan.
Well, that's bad.
Ohio
All right.
and Michigan mentioned on the same show. Ooh.
There you go. Now you're in real trouble. So that led into the gold medal game tonight, which was just fantastic. Like we talked about, I mentioned early on the show, like this was not going to be an easy game for the U.S. Even though they beat Canada 5-0. Canada was going to give them everything that they could, and they did. Canada, there's no score through the first. There's a lot of feeling out early on in this game. I don't really know that either team in the first period had a lot of chances, but Canada had a couple good power plays, didn't score on any of them. Then the U.S. finally gets their first power play to start the second period. Like, oh, great, nice, here we go. A real fluky play where the puck comes off the stanchion, weird. It gets Layla Edwards kind of caught flat-footed, so she can't catch up on a 2-on-1 break. And there's just a beautiful pass from Stacey to O'Neill. She buried it, a really good move. So they're up 1-0. Desmond's, who is a PWHL goalie, one of the best goalies, was playing lights out. Frankel for the U.S. played really good too. Like both goalies made some phenomenal saves. There's a save in the second period that Frankel made with 4 minutes left. That's one of those saves you're like, if the U.S. somehow come back to win this game, mark that save down. She got across went post to post, came across, beautiful slide stack save that if Canada scores in that one, I think it's definitely over. But even with that, the third period, just U.S. could not get going. Really couldn't generate much, and then 2 minutes left, they decide go ahead and pull the goalie. They get an offensive zone face-off. They win it. It goes back to Edwards. She makes a nice little move, gets center on, takes a really good shot, and the old lady of the team, Hillary Knight, gets her 15th career goal for the U.S. to break the tie of other U.S. athletes that had 14, and that sends this game into overtime. And the overtime was back and forth too. Both teams had some tremendous chances. One little play where the Canadians are going in, a little bit of a hook on the breakaway. Could it have been called? Maybe. I couldn't really argue if they would have called it. Hell, they could have probably even given her a penalty shot if they wanted to, because she was kind of in the clear. But it goes uncalled, which isn't also uncommon in overtime. Referees just aren't going to want to step into that situation unless they absolutely have to. Poulin, the great player for Canada, has a chance down low that I don't know how she didn't score it, but Frankel made an impressive save on that. And then it comes down, Megan Keller chips the puck in off the wing, makes an incredible move where she puts the puck through the defenseman's feet, gets in on the goalie, and then goes backhand 5-hole. For those that backhand is shooting from that 5-hole is kind of the area in between the legs, puts it in, and the rest is history. The U.S. go off celebrating. Just an amazing game. So happy for these ladies. They're all a lovable bunch of young ladies. A really good mix that the U.S. put together. The coach was balling after the game. He was ecstatic for him. Just couldn't have been happier. Over here at my aunt's house, we both screamed pretty loudly when that puck went in the net. So it was just a fantastic game. And then I'll let Sarah give her thoughts and whoever else wants to chime in on it.
Okay. I don't know. I'm pretty sure you guys all enjoy Matty Ice's pessimistic reverse jinx talk.
What?
I'm gonna show you the live text that I was getting while I was in class, by the way, and driving home. And even Little Vic is in here. Kudos to him. I'm not even sure. This was already at 2:00, so like an hour into the game. All those wins against Canada don't mean shit when you can't beat them for gold in the Olympics. Little Vic says, true. This is ridiculous. Never fails in the Olympics. Dominate till gold medal game, then crap the bed. And then Dad's actually being positive. And then Little Vic says, and that's the game. Embarrassing. And then Matty Ice is obviously talking about the penalty. And then Little Vic says still embarrassing. Matty Guy says wouldn't call losing to Canada embarrassing, disappointing, yes. And then Little Vic goes with, we've been dominating them lately in the tournament. I don't care. It's embarrassing. On the biggest stake, we choke. And then minutes after that text was sent, U.S. tied the game.
They did. The reverse jinx worked. That's all that matters.
It was
Mine's just a
two
little
of
bit
you
more.
guys, though. I had
Hey.
my rental car reading it off to me, and I'm just like, what am I even listening
There's
to?
no hold barred in the reverse jinx for gold medal. I'm sorry. Like, you got to pull out every single stop. Like, I was trying the goalie because that worked in the U.S. game when we talked about the men's with Markstrom. I was like, we can't beat Markstrom. And as soon as I sent the text, we scored. And then in overtime, it's like, they're not scoring on him in overtime, and it scored. Like, I was pulling out every reverse jinx possible for this game because it was not looking good. I was not feeling it there. I was like, damn, it's not going to work today.
Maddie, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
What do you think about when they decided to pull the goalie there around the 2 minute 15-second mark? I heard some of the announcers thinking that was a bit early. They might have jumped the gun a little bit, but it worked. What did you think about them pulling the goalie?
I was all for it because the U.S. wasn't generating any real offense without it. Like, they just weren't getting the puck down deep. If they were generating lots of offense, I'd be like, yeah, great. It's too early. But you had they had the offensive zone draw before that. They weren't generating a lot of offensive time. So you get the sixth skater out there to try to keep the pressure in the zone. It did clear out just before the goal, but then they got it in deep, got the whistle again. And then that's when they were able to set up play. And the key is they won the faceoff. You lose the faceoff. Canada's probably going down, putting the puck in the empty net. So hindsight would have been easy to say if Canada scores, right? It's too soon. But the Canadian defense, I give them credit this whole entire game. They did a great job of where the U.S. is good at using their speed. They take shots from the outside, and then they've got ladies down low to put in easy rebounds. Canada wasn't giving them that space. The rebounds were there to be had. We just couldn't get to them. Either, Canada would just get a stick on it, or Canada would be the first player there. Their defense played phenomenal this game, which didn't surprise me. I knew we were going to get Canada's best game, and they did. They played a great game. We just got, fortunately, Hillary Knight, the seasoned vet, gets the right tip at the right time. And then once it got to 3-on-3, both of these teams have so much talent. Like, it just was going to come down to who made the play. And man, that goal by, like, I've watched it 10 times already, that goal by Megan Keller. It's just a thing of beauty. It's just that drag between the legs was just chef's kiss, just beautiful.
So I missed it live. I had to catch the replay. So once I saw the replay, I literally got chills watching the replay of the goal. It was probably one of the best things. I tried my best. Like, I gave a little in the office because I couldn't yell, but yeah, I loved it, man.
Well, I wanted to say this because I actually got questions tonight.
Yep.
My first question is, and I wrote these down. This game, was it won by skill, speed, or physicality? If you had to choose, or was this just perseverance all the way around the board?
I'd say perseverance.
Mm-hmm.
I would go with skill, only because it did take. I mean, I don't think the U.S. ever really abandoned their game. They stayed with it all 60 minutes. Finally, the skill broke through. I mean, perseverance is great. It don't teach you how to make that move that Megan Keller made to score that game-winning goal. That's just. The U.S. has a lot of young ladies with a lot of skill. And I'll say that because you got to look at this whole entire tournament, right? Remember, still, the bottom line is they outscored their opponents for this entire tournament 34-2. They just dominated this thing. I mean, and that's what would have sucked. They were at the point where they were going to outscore their opponents 32-2 and win a silver medal. Because if it was stayed 1-0, that would have been what would have happened for him. So I'm so happy for him. So I'll say skill only because I'm going to look at this throughout the whole entire 7 games that they won, where their skill just shined. And the scary thing is this team's young. I mean, they played 7 players that are still in college. They've only got 3 or 4 seasoned vets that will likely not be on this team in 4 years. It's just. This team could be scary good with the run they're on. It's also now their 8th win in a row over Canada. So when you count World Championships and their little rivalry series that they did, it's 8 in a row over Canada. That's something.
All right. And well, my next question is about the reverse jinx. You know what you could have pulled out, Maddie. You know it works. They're so good. And once you get that, if we can get it started back up now, by the time the NFL season comes around, we're good. We got to start somewhere.
That's your reverse jinx. So that I can't take that's your reverse jinx bit. I can't take your reverse jinx bit. I got my own where I just say we're never going to beat this goaltender, and that's what we're so we both have our own version of it. I can't steal your "you're so good" bit. That would be wrong of me.
Hey, if it's borrowed and it means that the United States gets a gold medal, I'm all for it.
Okay.
PG, you can steal my bit, okay? In order to win the game, you have to win the game.
There you go.
I like that. That is a strategy right there. I like that. I'm using that. I'm sorry. I got permission. I'm using that.
You did. So good.
This is a place where we do respect all bits. All bits are proprietary. So please, let's not get willy-nilly with these bits, but okay.
Midnight's gonna get annoyed by it, is basically what he's saying.
Could be. Very. I like that comment. It's good. All right, we good in the women's game, guys. You guys want to roll on to the men's stuff?
Oh, I do have a guilty. So I was watching the game live, but I kid you not, I was tired and I took off my glasses. It's like, okay, I'll hear when the overtime starts. I did not hear when the overtime starts. I actually missed the entire overtime, and I woke up to them shaking hands, and I didn't know who won. Despite that,
I let you down, Sarah, because that's my superpower, right? Where I can take those naps in between the third period and the overtime, starting for the late night overtime games in the NHL. And I don't know what it is. It's the sound change. I wake up every time when the overtime starts. I've always been able to do that. I'm sorry.
Usually I'm okay with it, but no, not today. I failed today, and that was the time I shouldn't have.
I didn't pass it on to you. I'm sorry, man. I let you down.
Perry checking in. He said makes the most sense with Sarah's bit. Makes the most sense.
Duh.
Agree.
What have I ever said? That doesn't make any sense.
Never. All right. So let's get into the men's side. It's kind of funny going into these quarterfinals. I was really concerned. I was like, man, we really haven't had the men's had no overtimes in the round robin. The women's only had one. And I was kind of like, man, are we gonna just get? And then the first quarterfinal, Slovakia just rolls over Germany 6-2. That they continue their great run. I'm like, oh boy, are we just in for nothing? And then finally they hit. We had 3 straight overtimes yesterday. All 3 games, the team that was trailing scored the tying goal in the last 4 minutes or later to tie the game and send it to overtime. The first one was Canada against Czechia, which was a great game. Again, this is when Canada beat them before, but Czechia played great this game. Ryan Suzuki, who plays for the Montreal Canadiens, scores the tying goal. Mitch Marner, who plays for Toronto, scores the game-winning goal. So needless to say, Montreal and Toronto are
Mitch Marner does not play for Toronto.
Oh, no, that's right. He's in Vegas now. No, duh. Never mind. So, yeah, he'll be welcome back now, I think, in Toronto after scoring that goal, though. At least he may not get booed anymore. So that's right. Totally forgot he's in Vegas now. I can't keep up with him anymore. A bit of controversy in this game where Czechia scored their 3rd goal, which gave them the lead with 6 players on the ice. I mean, they had 6 players on the ice for 30 seconds and somehow did not get called for too many men. But then Natchez is going in on a break and goes in a breakaway when it was tied at 3, gets hooked, kind of similar to what we saw earlier in the game. And that one didn't get called either. And the Czechia coach was crying, oh, their calls are always going to be for Canada, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, your 3rd goal was scored with 6 guys on the ice. You have no room to talk about goals allowed, not allowed, because that goal should never happen either. So, but Canada survives, which, I've said that I thought this was Canada's tournament to lose, and they almost lost it. The Finns were down 2-0, looked really, really bad, just uninterested in the game, they were playing some throwaway game in Rochester, as Herb Brooks used to say in the movie Miracle. And that's how they looked in that game. Then Aho makes it 2-1. Heiskanen scores with 1:12 left to tie it. Lehkonen gets loose in overtime and buries the winner in that one. So the Finns survive. And then U.S. and Sweden. This was almost a role reversal for what the women did today. The U.S. were up 1-0. going late into the third period, but the U.S. were just dragging. I was afraid they're just trying to hang on. And what you know, Sweden scores the goal by your boy Jack, Michael Sabenajad, the name that you got right in our name one, so that
you remember
that.
that.
I do, and when he scored, I was like, "Oh man, look at that! Jack even got that guy's name right." So, but he scores it with 1:31 left, and we go to overtime. The U.S. was dominating the overtime. And I was kind of afraid, oh boy, Sweden's just going to go down and get a lucky one. But Quinn Hughes makes a nice move again off of a face-off win, wins it, controls it, drags it, and then puts it in for 2-1. So our semis are tomorrow. You have at 10:40 a.m. Canada against Finland. It looks like Canada could be missing both Crosby and McKinnon, which is going to be huge blows for Canada. The Finns, hopefully are coming in. I think we'll see. Obviously, we're going to see Bennington again against UC Saros. Bennington's probably played a lot better this tournament, even though the couple he gave up against Czechia weren't maybe the greatest ones, but he came up big when it mattered. Same thing for Saros. He's had some questionable moments for sure. Then you got the U.S. and Slovakia at 3:10, and I know a lot of people are going to say the U.S. is going to win that game. They should win that game, but Slovakia's been the surprise team of this tournament. They've been led by Yuri Slavkovsky, and they only have 7 NHL players. The U.S. has to get their speed going in this game because they're a much quicker team than Slovakia. But Slovakia's done a great job of building, of hemming in other teams with speed. We'll see how that goes for them. So the U.S. has to get to their speed game. They need Connor Hellebuyck, who played amazing against Sweden. They need him to show up for sure. So we could be seeing another Canada-U.S. It's set up that way, but I'm a little bit afraid for Canada if Crosby and McKinnon can't go. We could then end up seeing the U.S. finish final. So we'll see how it all goes. But that's what we're looking at tomorrow. 10:40 a.m., 3:10 p.m. And then the big game would be gold medal is Sunday at 8:10 a.m. These are all East Coast times because it is the last event of the Olympics. Remember, 6 hours ahead. So that is 2:10 p.m. It basically goes, it's, gold medal game for hockey. We go right to the closing ceremonies. So just keep that in mind. That's why the game is at 8:10 on Sunday. And that's what we got left. That's the quick rundown on it. Sarah, what you got?
Games are absolutely crazy for sure. Slovakia killed Germany, not to be too crazy. I do want to bring it up that I don't think it was obviously this game, or like this strand of games, but I don't know if we talked about it, but the other strand of games, I think for the quarterfinals, it was, oh my god, I have to actually pull it up. The Germany it was before the France-Canada game. There was obviously the controversial thing with Tom Wilson and then one of France's players. And then there was like Tom Wilson, obviously, or France player made a hit on Nathan McKinnon. Tom Wilson, doing what Tom Wilson does best, started acting on it. It was a whole fight. Usually you get suspended from it, but they were able to go without suspension. But Team France actually suspended their French player because of it. So he was no longer able to, so he didn't play in the French-Germany game. And it was actually reported that apparently there was actually kind of like a lot of outrage about him even being on the Olympic team in the first place, because I think the French league there, he punched a goalie, which usually doesn't happen. But he punched a goalie. So I guess France got that solved out where they got rid of a player that they didn't really want in the first place. Or whatever. But that was a crazy game, by the way. I just had to bring that up because I didn't think that was, I've totally forgot to bring that up. I think that didn't even happen. No, that was on Tuesday, so I couldn't bring it up then. But no, semifinals, absolutely insane. Or quarterfinals, whatever you want to call it. Slovakia killed Germany. Canada, Czechia game, that was crazy. I'm pretty sure Canadians were sweating bullets during that game. But I just got to give a shout out to the kid, Macklin Celebrini. Kid is what, 19, and he's got
five.
Yeah, 5 goals. 5 goals. It's absolutely insane. Kid is just amazing. Like there's always that debate about Celebrini versus Bedard because Bedard's the other one, and Bedard's not even in the Olympics. So that gives you your answer of who's a little bit better right now. But Bedard is injured, so I guess that's a good enough reason. But just absolutely crazy playing from the kid. As Dad said, Mitch Marner from Vegas scores the game winner. Absolutely beautiful goal. Also, Switzerland, Finland. I was scared. Like Dad said, they were down 2-0. And I was honestly about to be okay with Switzerland getting into the semis. I would have been like, it would have been a terrible thing to happen. Nino Niederreiter. I should have gotten Jack to try pronouncing that one. That one's a fun one. But Nino Niederreiter.
Give me fire. Give me Nino
Niederreiter. Carolina. He's a good one. So I was like, okay. Usually whenever I see these teams, I try to think of who's a previous Carolina player that I actually want to see get a medal. So I was okay with that. But Finland goes on. Sebastian Aho goes on. Oh my gosh, I'm going down the list here. And then Sweden, US, crazy game. I don't think I was able to watch that one. No, I was able to watch the Hughes overtime winner. That one was insane. I don't know if you've seen the fun bit, but there's a bit that Quinn Hughes, whenever he's on the bench, whenever he's on the bench, my bad. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm my words are. I'm sorry. Quinn Hughes, when he's on the bench, he just kind of stares into nothing, and there's a bit going on that he sees ghosts, and there's ghosts talking to him. So kind of good to see him wake up from that. But Quinn Hughes, he's definitely very popular on TikTok right now. Of course, I know that. But I'm excited for the semifinals. Why am I getting this mixed up? I could honestly tell you, Canada-Finland could literally be a gold medal game. It just gives off that kind of matchup. So the fact that it's only in the semifinals is going to be insane. But it helps with my predictions because I said that Finland men's was going to win the gold medal. So I don't remember who I put for the bronze and silver, but my gold looks pretty. My gold looks pretty good right now. I think Finland's taking over Canada, and then I think it will be a Finland-US gold medal game. Finland gets the gold, US gets the silver, and Canada gets the bronze.
One player we forgot to mention too, Sarah, from that game was our boy Jacob Slavin, because Jacob Slavin continues to do Jacob Slavin things. He stops a 2-on-1 breakaway with a sliding play where he gets the pass, or else Sweden scores the goal and they win the game 2-1. He's the best defensive defenseman in the NHL, period. I don't care what anyone else says. The problem is he's not flashy. But Jacob Slavin was on the ice for every big shit that Sweden had. And if they're going to beat Slovakia, it's going to be most likely a Jacob Slavin play is going to do it, because he's just so good back there. It's just so much fun to watch him.
Very much so.
Any questions, fellas? Anybody?
Make sure I get this one. Hold on, got to check my notes here. Got to check my notes. What would you consider the turning point of the game?
The U.S. Sweden game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for me, it was that the play by Slavin, because, like I said, without that, because Connor Hellebuck's making the play on the shot, which the goalie's supposed to do. If that pass gets through, Sweden buries it. They win the game 2-1. I mean, it was that big of a play that he makes. That's because then shortly after that is when they go down and get where Quinn Hughes goes down and gets the winner. So I'll take that play as the turning point, because if not for that play, it would have been a sad day yesterday for USA men's hockey anyway.
All right,
Sarah, you got a turning point play?
I mean, as you said it, I think Slavin's defensive play, the defense always comes in handy, especially when other teams are won over with a great move, I would say. Like even in the women's Sweden game, Sweden's defense kept them alive for a little bit more than they should have. Because there were times where the puck was like right out there with an empty net, and it didn't go in. So defense definitely has a big play in those kind of games. So I would say US's defense is pretty stellar right now, and it can give them a good shot in the gold medal.
Agree.
All right,
Which will we
so let's get you guys out, or let's get everybody out with predictions for the semis for the men's, and who's the gold medal team, and then
I already did
we'll
my
let you
whoops.
guys go. Go ahead, start it off, Maddie.
I'm gonna go with Finland over Canada. I know when we did this 2 days ago, I said it's Canada's tournament to lose, but I think the McKinnon and Crosby injuries changes that completely. And I think the Finns are going to be too much. If the Finns play like the problem with the Finns has been, I don't know which Finnish team is going to show up. The one that played and rolled over Sweden, and the one that rolled over Italy, or the team that looked like they didn't care against Switzerland into the third period. That's just the only thing with the Finns. I just don't know which team's going to show up. I'm going to assume it's going to be the good one, and I'll take them. I'll take the U.S. over Slovakia. I think a lot of people though think that game is going to be a blowout, but I think it will be a 4-2-ish kind of game where the U.S. probably gets an empty netter at the end. So I don't think it's going to be a blowout like folks think. I picked the Finns to win the gold medal before this thing all started. I'd love to see the U.S. prove me wrong, but since I picked the Finns to win the gold medal, I'll still take them to defend the gold medal and win it, and the U.S. gets silver on the men's side.
Sarah?
Well, like I said, I kind of already gave mine, but U.S. Oh my gosh, hello. Blanking. Hello. Why am I blanking? U.S. Slovakia. Slovakia does play great. I will admit it. But I think that is U.S.'s game to win. They just have way more skill and talent on that team, on that roster. So U.S. will probably win against that one. Canada, Finland. I am fairly confident, just for my rankings too, but that Finland would win that game. So that means that Slovakia versus Canada for the bronze. I would say Canada gets the bronze against Slovakia. And then you got the gold medal game, U.S. versus Finland. Finland gets the gold. And then U.S. will get the silver. I'll be interesting to see if any of these games go into more overtime. I've kind of been liking it. It means it shows way more, like, obviously both of these teams really want this, and they're fighting to stay alive because a lot of it's just tying at the last second in the third period. It's a great roller coaster of emotions to go through. So I'm not sure. I'm trying to think of an over under for overtimes, but we'll see what happens.
KG.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and be the homer, of course. Whenever it comes to something like this, I'll take the U.S. and I'll take Canada. So it's just the whole North American thing going on. So that's where I'll go.
And then who wins the gold? U.S. or Canada?
U.S.
What? I didn't know if he was claiming Canada, as a country during the.
No. Now, I will say this: Canada has a dope national anthem. I absolutely love Canada's national anthem.
Oh, Canada.
See?
Uh-oh.
Our home and native land.
Oh, God.
True patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true, no strong and free from far and wide. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep your land glorious and free.
Wow.
Oh,
Jackson,
Canada.
Sleep us from the show, Canada.
I plead the fifth. Nah, I got Canada, USA winning gold.
Wow. All right. So let me finish off the homers here. I got USA. I got Canada losing, but US wins the gold. So there we go.
I hope you guys are right. I really do. I want to see US win it, but we'll see. The Finns scare me. Canada scares me. Canada scares me a little less without McKinnon and Crosby, though, I will admit.
Give us a quick preview for Monday at 5, and then we'll let you guys go.
Yeah, Monday 5 will be our show. We will, of course, we'll talk all about the gold medal game for sure. We'll wrap up probably the women's gold medal game too. We'll wrap up the Olympics this period. We'll go over our medal counts, see who's won what, go over some big time surprises, not surprises on the Olympic side. We'll probably dive right into the NHL because the NHL will start that following week as well. And then we'll see what hits over the weekend for some other stuff too. The big show, of course, coming up will be March 2nd. We're going to finally get to is legalized gambling ruining sports, and then March 23rd is going to be the MLB Drive Time and Prime Time Spectacular 2, and I think Friday, March 6th or 7th, I gotta look at the calendar, that is going to be we're going to have a special at 5 p.m. That's the NHL trade deadline, so we'll be on March 6th, Friday, March 6th, 5 p.m. for special NHL trade deadline. We'll see what happens with the NHL coming back and who makes what deals.
All right. Well, thank you as always for being our hockey correspondents, our Olympic correspondents. We will see you guys next time at 5 p.m. Unless you guys come with us Sunday morning. I don't know if you want to give away too much of your answers and your thoughts on our show before you do your show.
Yeah, it's going to be close too because 8:10 is the start time. It should be over by that time. But I've got. I know it's going to surprise everyone, but right after that game, then I've got two hockey. I got two semifinals, I think, on Sunday. Yeah, two semifinals on Sunday. So yeah, we'll save it for Monday.
All right, thank you, man. We'll talk to you guys later.
All right, see you guys.
All right, guys.
All right, guys. That was our Winter Olympic hockey update with our guy Matty Ice from Drive Time. What we're gonna do is take a quick break. Let's reset the show real quick, and then we're gonna come back with the thriller from last night. A great ball game, double overtime in the college basketball world. This is the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network, and we'll be right back.
Tonight!
You just had to. You can't help yourself. You can't help yourself, dude. I was going to take another break. That's why I didn't play it the first break. I was going to play that second.
It was an accident because I was looking for something else, and I was like, wait, why is it playing?
Goodness gracious.
I was looking for something else.
All right, well, we're back from commercial. Sideline Junkies Podcast Network, Thursday Night Throwdown. KG over here hogging the controls, cutting up the commercial, doing what he want to do. But fellas, let's talk about last night. We had a thriller last night, college basketball world. So we're gonna let this start with our college basketball expert, Mr. Jack Carr, the gentleman Jack, as you know him on the show. Take it away, Jack.
Well, last night I tried to, I reached out in the group and tried to make sure everybody could be ready for this game. I'm not ready for it, but once I saw we're going double overtime, I had to see if any of my guys were into it. Double overtime games are just the best. I love overtime. And then whenever you see somebody scoring like this in college ball, the final score 117, 115, brings us back memories of, like, let's say Doug Moe, KG, offensive priors, So, yeah, it was nice, man. You had a freshman guard on the Arkansas squad. He was in a walking boot 3 days prior to this game. Coach says, you going to play in the Alabama game? He said, hell yeah. And took the walking boot off the day before, and he managed to play all 50 minutes in this ball game. His name is Darius Acuff, if that's how you pronounce his name properly. He managed to play all 50 games for Coach Calipari's depleted squad. They were running with 7 guys for most of the game, but 4 guys fouled out. So Calipari had to put 2 players in that got a combined 30 minutes this season. Combined 30 minutes. That's probably mop up. So they just were running out of firepower to handle Alabama with the depleted roster they had. But Alabama had a couple guys that that really excelled as well. Laverne Philon, 35 points, and Aiden Sherrill, 26 points, 13 rebounds. I know, you're thinking these points aren't that great for a double overtime, but I beg to differ. And like I said, the young man for Arkansas, he put in, what was it, 49? Yes, 49 points on 6 of 10 from three-point line. He was shooting, he was hooping, he was coming up with big shots, but he couldn't come up with enough big shots like Houston Mallette from Alabama did. He came up with 3 clutch threes, including the game winner. And Arkansas did have a shot. Their star guard, Darius, he came down the court and drove kind of out of control and threw up a floater of sorts, and it just hit backboard pretty hard. And one of his teammates, he was ready to tear the world down on a follow-up dunk, and it bounced off the back of the iron, buzzer, game over. All the players were beat. They were just beat. 50 minutes of ball is a lot of ball. Not all of them played 50 minutes, but you know what I mean. Any of y'all check out the highlights or the box score?
Well, I was watching this from the beginning, and so I saw it wasn't the Cup. Who's a 5 for Alabama? He started out hot. Allen. So he got them started.
Amari Allen.
And then a Cuff goes on a run. So it's like they're trading punches back and forth. And then I see it go into overtime. I go away from it. And I came back for the end of the double overtime. And this is one of those classics. I thought this was going to be a really good game. I thought we had a couple good games last night. We got the shocker. I think it was Creighton beat UConn.
Yes, sir. Creighton beat UConn. They got a young man that just lost his mama a couple weeks ago, and that boy over at Creighton's been scoring in bunches since his mama passed. So they started that game in UConn with a moment of silence for the young man's family, and I thought that was very tasteful done by Coach Hurley and the UConn University. Creighton's hasn't been what they were predicted to be this year, but that game last night was big. And then everybody's seen Arizona just handle BYU like a bunch of little kids. BYU just don't have enough weapons to go along with their star freshmen.
Yeah, and then the only other game I wanted to bring up was Butler beating Georgetown, 93-89. So, that's all I got.
Georgetown.
Yeah, George, and I don't think they're on a streak, so I won't break the. I'll do this to be nice. I won't bring out the streak thing until we get to like 4 or 5 games. Then I'll bring the streak out. But if it's only fair. You want 5, I'll give you 5.
No. I'm gonna say this real quick. I want you to come a little close. Just come close to the screen. I want you to hit me.
With you.
Boo! Oh my goodness. I'm gonna have to call Ed Cooley and be like, young, you got to do something. Midnight Rider messaged me about y'all losing every season. I can't take it right now because this is just terrible.
It's tough.
And we started off so hot. We started off really good, then we fell off, then we went back on a run again. I was like, all right, we done righted the ship. No, we haven't.
Oh, cupcake.
It's
cupcake time.
Well, cupcake time is supposed to be the beginning of your season before you start
cupcake time when you're playing the House of the Poor at McDonough.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
They start out like that earlier, but I don't understand what's taking them so long to right the ship. At least be competitive in the Big East.
Talent.
You're
not getting the talent to come into the Georgetown no more. Nobody's going to play up on the hill anymore.
But why? But that's a question. Why are they not? Why are they not getting the talent?
I'll tell you this. It's because they still coach as if they're coaching our generation. When Patrick Ewing was up on the hill, a lot of guys left because they couldn't deal with the stiffness of the coaching when you were being held accountable. You were told, hey, what do you tell a kid? What are you shooting that shot for? Did you ever practice that shot? I've never seen you practice that shot. Don't shoot that shot. You don't practice that. That is not your game. That same player he told that wound up walking away from the program and transferring somewhere else because they couldn't deal with the discipline. Same thing with McClung, and it was another player, a couple of other players that walked away from the program because they can't deal with the tradition and the way the discipline is handed out up on the hill. That's it, and that's all. These guys want to be coddled. They cannot be coddled. You got to be disciplined to play at Georgetown. You got to be disciplined to play for Calipari, Izzo, Roy Williams, whoever. You have to be disciplined. But it's so many young coaches that have AAU backgrounds that let these kids do whatever they want. So hell, I'll go do whatever I want over here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but you got to make that excuse for the programs that are getting turned around too. I mean, because you got programs that are, you know, like Jack said, why is this taking so long? Then that falls on the AD. Then if you got a way of doing things, cool, but if you're doing things the same way you're losing, that means you're not adjusting, right? So then that's on the AD. You got to bring somebody in that can Kirk Signetti this thing and turn it around the next year. It's no excuse. After Signetti did what he did in 2 years at Indiana, all these coaches got a stick of dynamite under their ass now because it's like it's no more excuses. If you got the tools, now we could go back and say, okay, what's allocated to NIL, because that's why the coach left Maryland. It wasn't enough allocation for basketball, he claimed. Okay, all right, cool. But if that's the case at Georgetown, then it's not. You got a player problem, you got a talent problem, and you got an AD problem. So something got to be addressed because the people in this area are looking for Georgetown to come back on top of the hill like they were with Big John and the towel over the shoulder, and it just hasn't materialized. Pat won the Big East with him. What is it still a Big East? Oh my God, I don't know.
Yeah, it's still a Big East.
I'm just making sure they ain't changed chips overnight and they not in the Pac-10 or something. Like Sacramento State. That's a whole nother thing. But so it just got figured out. But I wanted to say something real quick because I caught some of that double OT. Arkansas had them. They went on a 13-0 run in the first, and then they had them by like 14. I think Arkansas, look, that kid, Acuff, that kid is nice. 22 for Bama, the center, nice big boy. He's good too. I don't know his name. But I'm gonna tell you what I really enjoyed about this game. They were moving the ball. They were attacking the rim. They weren't just settling for 3-point shots. And when they got the 3-point shot, it was all for ball screens. They were playing really good, solid ball. I just think Arkansas was like, man, we up by 14. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Pop open the Coors Light. We good. And then, what happens in college sports all the time, that momentum, Alabama at home got the momentum going. And they just started chipping away at it. They got the 3-point and they got baskets. And even at the end of the game, Arkansas with Acuff, he had a chance. It went too strong. The boy tried to put it back in. That didn't go in. So, and like Jack said, you get to overtime, double overtime, you start running out of gas. It's just like, look, whoever win at this point, they win. We just want to go home now. You know what I'm saying? So it was a great game, man. It was a great game. If you haven't checked it out, check out the highlights, man, because the highlights are action-packed. From start to finish, just like a 22-minute clip. Check that out. But the game was definitely a great game.
Yeah, BJ. Arkansas was up 14 two different times.
Yes.
And Alabama made an 18-4 run toward the end of the game to tie it up and take the lead for one of the few times in the game, if not the only time. Yeah,
it was like, I want to say it was like the don't quote me. It's like around a 10-minute mark in the second half. I think Bama either tied it or took the lead, and it was kind of Bama's after that. Arkansas was kind of running scared after that. So great game, though, man. Great game, and shout out to him, man. I enjoyed that game.
Any last thoughts? Ooh. All right. Let's go to some other breaking news here. Tony Clark of MLB. I'm sorry. Go ahead, kid.
I got you.
All right, Tony Clark
just
of the
kicking it
MLB resigns amid inquiry. So, what we have here, and I'll just kind of read some of the text that I have saved. The MLB PA asked Clark to resign after an investigation by outside counsel discovered evidence he had an inappropriate relationship with his sister-in-law, who has been an union employee since 2023. A person familiar with the union's deliberations told the Associated Press the person spoke on a condition of anonymity because that detail was not announced. The relationship was uncovered when the union responded to a federal investigation into the finance governance by hiring an independent lawyer. The lawyer discovered Clark's relationship with his sister-in-law. The information that really led to this came out within the last 72 hours. Meyer said, so this is not something that's kind of been sat on. When the information came out, the players on the subcommittee made their feelings known. And Tony, to his credit, he always has been about the players first. And Tony decided to take action. He did it in the best interest of the players. What he did was in the best interest of his manhood. But we're not gonna go there. I'm gonna let you guys start it off. If you have anything on it, just go ahead. Or your thoughts on it, period. Jack, if you want to start us, okay. KG, you got anything?
We are having the same conversation over and over and over when it comes to sports. And we don't have too many player reps that are really representing players the correct way anymore. It's like everything's about lining the pockets, and then you start uncovering things, and next thing you know, we got a scandal. It's like, how many more scandals we gonna have, man?
Well, we got a couple. We got another one we'll talk about in a second. BJ, any thoughts before I share mine?
I just don't understand it. I understand it, but I don't understand it. Then of all people, your sister-in-law, like, dog, if you was going to do that, it has to be another way to funnel finances, some other way. Because I mean, you're talking about she was on the payroll of Major League Baseball too, right? Is that what it's reading?
Yeah, she was hired in 2023.
All right, yeah. So it's like, it's just I don't get it, man. You throw just like the Michigan head coach. These dummies are throwing away everything for a slice, and right. I don't want to slice that bad. I just don't. So, Ryder.
Nah, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say it this way so I can segue into the next comment or the next topic. I think we're getting to a point where these players' associations, we're getting something to cover up the investigation or the bigger investigation that's laying behind. This is the second time we've heard of a player association head or president having to resign because of financial improprieties. And the first person, and we'll go ahead and transition to it now, is Mr. Hollins, Mr. Howell, who was the head of the NFL PA. His controversies were beyond the expense reports. He was scrutinized for maintaining a part-time consulting role with the Carlyle Group, a private equity firm approved to buy into NFL teams, which was seen as a major conflict of interest. He was also criticized for a confidentially agreement with the NFL that kept a damning arbitrator ruling about owner collusion against fully guaranteed contracts quiet. So this is the person that we choose to represent the players. His first transgression was he was expensing his visits to the strip club to the league. He has this part-time job, and then he goes in the back and he knows the owners are colluding against guaranteed contracts, and he keeps it hush. So he doesn't have his players' best interest in mind. So now the question I ask, and it's kind of one of the banners is do we have a player association issue? And I'll take this other thing off the screen. KG, I see you nodding, so I'm gonna let you go with this.
First, let me say this: when BJ said a slice of the pie, the first thing I thought of was "Devil's Pie" by D'Angelo. That's the first song I thought. I was like, yeah, can't ask them why they want a slice of the devil's pie. That's the first thing I thought of. But yes, I think we've had a players association issue for over 20 some odd years now, and it seems like it's spilling over into other sports. Perry made a comment. He says as the batting cage turns. I mean, that's pretty much what it is when it comes to MLB. And he said home cooking, just the wrong home. And I absolutely agree. But when you got that, and then you got guys being bought off by the owners, I never really cared for what was my guy's name? DeMaurice Smith with the NFL that replaced Gene Upshaw. I never really cared for him. Even when he first started, I was like, this guy's not going to do anything. And Midnight Ride, I know you're going to shake your head. I had a big thing for Gene Upshaw and Paul Tagliabue because we didn't have work stoppages under them too. We grew as a league in the NFL. The NBA, the reps of the NBA, you don't really hear too much, but you got collusion going on there too. If you're going to be the head of the union and you're supposed to have the players' interests at top priority, and you're not doing that, you should not have the job. You're not fit for service. Let somebody else take over that's going to defend the client that they're supposed to be defending, not defending their pockets. We damn sure have a players association issue. Thank you for taking my call.
I'll be real quick. And I'll say regular people. Regular people misappropriate funds and do things, and usually they walk out of the facility in cuffs.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just you get to a point now, and the Players Association and the players are going to have to figure out how to address this, because I don't have an answer for you right now. Because KG said, like somebody like Gene Upshaw had the players, best interest in mind, and I kind of agree with him with Smith. You kind of got that car salesman vibe from him. But what do you do? How do you fix it? I think the punishment has to fit the crime. A lot of these, they get to walk away with the money. They lose a job. They get to walk away with the money and whatever benefits they accrued and stock options and stuff. And until this, it's not a slap on the wrist for doing this type of stuff, it's going to continue.
Jack, you got anything?
No,
okay.
It's a bad time to have this happen as is plastered all over the news, but because you got issues that need to be straightened out between the players and the owners and the league. Possibility of a strike coming in the near future, so not really a great time for this to happen. Midnight Rider. That's about all I see, and everything you guys have said has been spot on and educational to me.
No, that's what I thought you was going to say. That's why I went to you, Doug. So with that, with what you're saying, what KG said, KG, when you said pie, when he was talking about the slice of pie, I personally thought of the movie Life and Martin going through his pocket, counting money out and say how much money is going to cost to take these white only pies and make them.
Jesus Christ.
So all right. So back on track. Yes, we have an issue. I'm scared if something comes up in the NBA. We're just not doing this the right way, and something's got to be done. Somebody's got to be held accountable. But we'll keep our eyes on this as we go forward, because like Jack said, we've got an impending labor negotiation coming up soon with MLB and the owners and the players. So right now, the talk is heavy on us not even having a 2027 season. So we got some things to figure out in the baseball side of the world. Anybody want to add any last thoughts before we move on to our topic for tonight? All right, guys.
Before we go to the topic, I'm just a little touched right now. I just got a message, and we all know about our great Washington Redskin Trey Johnson just passing away. Well, I reached out to his wife to offer condolences this morning, and she got back to me and invited me to the celebration of life, March 5th, in Upper Marlboro. That's touching. I told her the story about how I met Trey while doing Miss Utility work, and then seen him several weeks later, and we interacted again. And she just loved that story. And I don't know, she wants to meet me. I'm sure they're emotional wreck over there, losing someone so young, so quick. But I'm gonna see what I can do. It's March 5th in Upper Marlboro. I think it's 11 o'clock in the morning. 9:30 in the morning, the memorial service will begin at 11. So I'm going to try to go to Trey's celebration of life and be there as a fan and to give my condolences in person. Interesting.
Right.
Touched me.
No, that's perfect,
Sounds
man.
good.
With that being said,
absolutely.
let's make the transition a little easier. KG, why don't you take us to break? Because I figured there's a break that you want to play for the fans here out in the world. So take it away.
I don't even know.
Who was that whippersnapper?
That Baby Ryder? Is that Baby Ryder?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Was it? The old pickle head you had.
5-year-old baby with the curly curls. Now it's all gone. Now it's on. I had my best hair life then. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network. This is the Thursday night throwdown. We're gonna hit our last topic for the night, our debate topic. And it's a topic that's been big in the sports world the last couple of days. What are we doing here, dog? Is that you or is that the thing? Is that the timer? All right. The conversation is tanking in sports. So we're gonna have a quick discussion on that. I don't know who we have that's actually, let's go for the people that are against tanking. Is that you, KG? All right, talk to me.
Most definitely. Okay, this is why tanking won't work, because we put so many things in place, especially in the NBA. That's why we have the lottery. So you can't tank, because teams would tank and get the number 1 overall pick and, pick the best college player. But, then they would tank again the next season. And basically what the Sixers did, they circumvented the system and they called it the process. Once that happened, we knew tanking was back in effect. So this is the worst thing that can happen to sports, because you're supposed to put your best product on the floor for your fans as well as your team. Tanking 3, 5, 7 years just to get high draft picks is the worst shit possible. What they're doing in Utah right now, it ruins the integrity of basketball. I am not happy with it. I don't like it. I wish it stopped. I thought we had a hold on it, but I guess we don't. But just like you can't give away multiple draft picks, first round draft picks in the same consecutive years, this needs to be stopped too. It needs to be stopped in the NFL. It needs to be investigated, because you got teams like the Jets. I don't think the Jets are tanking on purpose. I just think they're sorry. You had the Montreal Expos that would tank all the time. but they had so much talent in their farm system, and they traded it away, and they never really got nothing on the return.
Mm-mm.
And the next thing you know, they're in Washington, and Washington didn't do great all the time. And then next thing you know, Washington put a farm system together and won a championship. But it took years for that to happen. Tanking does not do anything but muddy the waters and mess up the integrity of the game. And that's what it's all about.
I think I disagree with you on just what you said is the Expos didn't tank. The Expos were used as a farm system for the rest of major leagues because the league owned the team. And if you look at what they were getting back for trading to John Wetland, for trading Levon Hernandez and several others, it was substandard. It was almost like MLB took off how you take off from the trade on the video game, or take away the veto power. That's what it seemed like in that situation. Jack, how do you feel about tanking? Are you pro tanking, con tanking?
Oh, I'm totally against it, but I know why they do it. You know what I'm saying? If I could get away with it, I would do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm against it as far as a fan. And KG, did you say Charlotte was tanking? Or was that Utah you said?
Utah. Because I believe you brought it up, and I believe everybody else. I think you guys on Nothing But Net, I think, Jack, you brought it up on a Sunday about them resting the 3 players, and they had a chance to win the game. Like, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah, Utah's doing that. Sacramento's doing that. Hell, Sacramento's shutting everybody down. You got to hang now. They shutting you down. You know what I'm saying? They're not even giving these cats time to either get better, because I don't think any of them got season-ending injuries. But, yeah, they're shutting players down. It's just, you might as well let us go out there and run. You know what I'm saying? We'll have PJ on the point, and we'll just go out there and run for these teams. But, yeah, I'm looking at the records right now. Indiana Pacers, Washington Wizards, Brooklyn Nets, Sacramento, New Orleans, and Utah are the main ones that are down the bottom. Memphis and Dallas, they got a shot to try to get into the play-ins and stuff. But you're looking at the teams that are down there and they're 10, 12 victories. They're the ones that are just rolling up their carpet and not letting nobody come in. Nobody, you come in, we just gonna give you the win. You ain't even gotta come over. So I don't know, man. I know why they're doing it, and I think we all know why they're doing it. But you can't do that. It's not right. It's not fair to the fans that are paying this big cake to come see you play. Tickets ain't cheap. Hot dog ain't cheap. Soda pop ain't cheap. You know, you gotta get a little something at the stadium. You're going to drop 100 plus, not to count price of tickets. So it's just shit that they got, players sitting on the bench or out for the season that could be playing. And I don't know what they're going to do. I am really curious to see what they think solution to this problem is going to be. Anxious to see what comes out of this, guys.
Well, you will get a great description of what's going to come out of this or what the plans are. If you check out this Wednesday's episode at 7:30 of Nothing But Net, we've got some information. We're just trying to make sure it's all accurate so we can get you the right stuff and cover it that way. BJ, I guess we are the guys that are kind of pro tanking. So I'll let you
tanking?
the argument.
Jack made a really good point, and so did KG, because you got your fans, you always got a kid and a dad or mom, whatever, going to the game for the first time, and you get G League players, and that's not fair. And it's levels to this, it's levels to tanking, right? I'm gonna tell you my 2 teams I root for: Washington Wizards and the Buffalo Bills. Okay, I watched these 2 teams for 20 years do absolutely nothing because they could never get one of those 1 or 2 top 1 or 2, 3 picks to have that game changer for their franchise. Now that's not a guarantee. You get that player, you still got to draft well, you still got to put a team together around them, right? But not to ever have that opportunity. I think I spoke on this a couple of shows ago, watching Buffalo from 99 to about even the Josh Allen drafting set between 7 and 12, not being able to get that franchise quarterback, not being able to. We all know those franchise quarterbacks usually are in that 1, 2, 3, depending on what the class is. And you can't change your franchise until you get that guy, just like the Raiders are sitting on the number 1 pick, and they're going to get Mendoza. If he works out, that's a franchise chance, a game changer. Even if he doesn't work out for the Raiders fans and Matty Ice can speak, it gives you hope for 2 seasons. You sell tickets. People come to you, buy, you know, you're making money. But this is also the league's fault. And I don't want to pick on certain teams, but when you see teams like the Lakers, you know, get those under the table trades to get their franchise back up. When you see the same teams, especially NBA, in the playoffs all the time, in the Final Four all the time. When you see LeBron James that grew up in Cleveland get all of a sudden the Cavaliers get the number 1 pick and he's going to Cleveland. When you see stuff like this over and over again, you're going to find it's time to cheat the system. And is it really cheating the system if the system's been cheating you the whole time? Because as an owner, it's my job to make money. And if you go to Capital One Arena over the last 10, 15 years, it's only a couple games. We talk about this all the time on this podcast. It's only a couple games a year that's full. It's not for the Wizards. It's to see Steph Curry. It's to see Jimmy Butler. It's to see Ant Edwards. It's to see Tatum. It's to see LeBron James come into town. Otherwise, you got 6,000 people in a 19,000 seat stadium arena. You're not making any money. You're getting your revenue sharing and stuff, but the whole thing is still a business at the end of the day, right? And you want to be profitable. So if you can't get the league, we talk about it all the time. I like parity. I love the NIL. I love that you watch Indiana win a championship this year. It can, unless you do stuff like this in the NBA, you're not going to have this chance because the league is easy for the league to have the Lakers and the Celtics and the Heat and now the Warriors up top. That's what everybody wants to see. Nobody really wanted to see the Nuggets, you know, win the championship. You a basketball purist a couple years ago. You wanted to watch it. It was good watching the Celtics win, come back on top. But the Hawks don't have a chance. The Wizards don't have a chance. We watch Oklahoma City rebuild and how they do it. And it looks like teams are going to copy and paste. Doesn't mean it's going to work. No, we watch Philadelphia. Trust the process. They ain't make it to NBA. They ain't make it out of the Eastern Conference. So the process, I mean, it's a process. You still have to be on your P's and Q's for as far as who you picking, putting a team together. You still have to put a team together. But as those 2 teams I've watched, especially Wizards, you go into the draft, you're going to pick a guy like Denny Avia, Corey Kispert, that's going to be on somebody else's championship team in 5 years. That's what they're picking for. They're basically a G League NBA team. You know, NFL. We watch teams have a great defense, top 5, top 10 defense, and can't move the ball to save their life. But that defense is good enough to win 7 or 8 games. Guess what that defense is good enough to do? Not land you your franchise quarterback the next year around. So if you take a couple pieces off that defense and drop that to 3 or 4 wins, now you got your chance at your franchise quarterback. Now you come back with that defense next year, and like a Big Ben, you come out the first year, you got a quarterback that can sling the rock. Super Bowl. I take that anytime. Than mediocrity for 20 years. Playing the game for 20 years. We got some owners out there that will play the game because they're getting their revenue sharing. They're making their piece. They're good. They got, you know, they're good with Steph Curry and other guys come and fill the arena. That's good for them. They make their money. They go fly to, overseas and get on their yacht and they're good. But you're getting fan bases that's tired of losing all the time. So if we're going to lose all the time, shit, let's just tank it. Come back next year. If you're telling me I got an Oklahoma City on deck, and we can be something, I want to see the Wizards in the mix. The NBA doesn't. They don't. But I do. I want to see the Hawks. I want to see the Kings. I want to see these different teams. I don't want to see the Mavericks all the time. I don't want to see the Warriors all the time. That's what the league wants. So, Ryder, I'm turning it over to you.
Let's hit comments real quick, and then I'm gonna give my close out with my argument. Perry says home cooking just wrong home. That's the last comment for the thing. We not tanking. I think he's talking about Charlotte. He says we suck.
No, you're talking about the Jets.
Oh, okay. There are levels to tanking. Selling off UFAs when you know you aren't going to make the playoff isn't taking. That's looking at the future. That's kind of what Miami's doing. Miami's got a version of that going on right now where I think they are cutting everything, ties to everything and anybody, and we're just going to start the whole process over. Also, easier in some sports to tank than come right back. Pacers and Nets not tanking. They don't have the pieces. Sacktown and Utah are hedging their bets with this year's draft. Solution announced. We'll talk about it on Nothing But Net Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. The Wiz don't want to lose their protective top 8 pick, which is all correct. Good enough to be mediocre don't work. Let's see what else we got in here. Oh boy. Perry Jones and the Jets lost to that Mendoza opportunity win with one win.
Yes.
That's crazy. Out of bounds said Wizards need Susan O'Malley back to make money. Maddie says some organizations tank but don't have the ability to draft well and never get out of it. That is so true.
And that's the truth. You could tank all you want. Can you draft the piece? Are you going to draft Greg Oden?
And then this is a new name to me. Natasha Curtis 923 says Nico said that you are the best.
What's up, Natasha?
On that one. Huh?
I was just saying, what's up, Natasha? I'm not sure who she with.
I'm not sure.
For watching.
Okay, cool. We appreciate it. We appreciate the watch. My thoughts on this is simple, man. We act like the tanking is brand new. The Spurs did this to get Tim Duncan. Teams have tanked. David Robinson was hurt. And what did they feel that year? Go ahead and give me that thought. He was hurt, and now the Wizards must have called Joe Gibbs because Cam Whitmore, he has weak veins or his blood don't clot, something like that. So, I mean, what do we the tanking, I'm pro tanking because let's think about this. In the NBA, who's the last big free agent you seen sign somewhere? Just sign. I'm not talking about a sign and trade. I'm talking about just a signed deal. It's not happening anymore. Free agents aren't moving as much because they get these automatic extensions and all these things.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have a way of making your team better by adding a free agent. Then there are destinations that aren't attractive. And let's think about the 3 teams with the lowest win totals. Sacramento, Utah, Washington. Not attractive sites. You're not getting anybody there. So you have to find a way to make it work. I think the league messed up because if you pay attention, the last 6 years, I think it is, the worst team in the league hasn't won the lottery.
I know.
So by them doing this flattening of the odds, what they've also done is just incentivize you to be worse, as bad as you can, because even if you
got a chance.
You got a chance. You know what
That's
I'm saying?
it.
It might not be your year, but hey, Kyrie, that knee still bothering you, right? ACL ain't healing right? Let's sit you out the rest of the season.
Dallas Mavericks, exactly.
Anthony Davis, that finger or whatever you got going on, that's not healing right. Let's go ahead and just sit you out the rest of the year. We got guys sitting out. We got Jaren Jackson getting a knee surgery all of a sudden. You're getting things that happen, and it's all because they know that you got to be in a certain place to get the pick. And that's why I'm pro tanking, because some places just can't get it. It's what Miami's about to do. Miami's about to eat $99 million into his contract so they can finish in the top, at least in the top 3 next year, unless Quinn Ewers becomes Joe Montana Jr. I'm dead serious, dog. They cutting everybody.
Your boy. I know they are. They cleaning house.
If you make money, they cutting you. I'm waiting for the Jalen Waddle trade. That's the only other, and then Minka Fitzpatrick. And once they do that, I think they've taken it down to the studs, and they're gonna start all over. And I think this is the year. Next year's the year to do it, because if you watch and pay attention to next year's draft, supposedly, and then we were told this year, that this is gonna be a big draft class for quarterbacks. We only got one.
It's more pressure on that Miami team, the Buffalo team, and the Jets team, because they just watched the Patriots go down to the bottom and build it back up and go to the
back up.
So that's in your division. And it's just like when you see that, you're just looking around the room like somebody got to go. Somebody got to get fired, because if they can do that in a year, and don't get me wrong, Vrabel is a very good coach. Okay, that a lot of things make a difference. Just like Matty Ice said, you can have the number 1 pick all you want. You still got to draft and build a team around these players.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Vrabel's a good coach, but to go down, you've been getting your tail kicked by Buffalo, the Jets, and you over the Jets. You can't beat Buffalo. You had New England, and then they jump over you, go to Super Bowl. Yeah, it's everybody got to go. I say it all the time. It's insanity to roll out the same thing and expect different results. Absolute insanity. And you rolled, Flores was right about Tua. You roll Tua out there again, and you're going to get the same results every time he's your starting quarterback. He's not going to take you anywhere. Just like Ryan Tannehill. They're in the same boat. Unless they got Ray Lewis and Ed Reed on the other side and a historic defense, they're not going nowhere with them quarterbacks. It just is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
In the Tannehill situation, I think he did the best of them all, because I think he got them to a championship game, but that was all Derrick Henry, and the defense. That's how they got there, and that's exactly what you're talking about. But to kind of put a bow on this, we'll do the Riche Rice civil suit. We'll do that Sunday, since we up against an hour and 30. But to wrap this up, in the NBA and NFL, you have to do something, because you're not the free agents just aren't working right now. You watch this free agency class in the NFL this season. Yeah, you got Trey Hendrickson, but he's 31? So you trying to pay him 3 years into his 34th season, because you got to give him a 3-year deal. 2 probably guaranteed money, 1 with avoidable something where you can spread the cap money out. The best receiver is Alec Pierce, is the name I keep hearing. Come on, that's not we're not moving the earth here. We're not getting Randy Moss or anything like that. We're getting Adam Pierce. So I think free agency has gotten to a point, because the caps are bigger and teams are taking care of their young players earlier. We're at a point where free agency doesn't really move the needle like it used to. You can supplement your team, but you can't make your team that much better in a hurry. And what New England did last season was they supplemented their teams, filled their holes, and they actually hit on all of them, and that's how they get to the thing. But I believe tanking is something that should happen, because it's in your best interest to get the best player you can get. Now, I think what should happen is, and I said this to somebody yesterday, I think you got to start declaring lineups. You got to declare who's available by a certain time, so that way you can take care of the gamblers. Because really, the only reason this is also a big issue in the NBA is because the gambling community has brought this up to him and said, "Hey, you killing us on parlays. You know, if you had Jaren Jackson with 25 and he leaves the game with 22 and doesn't play the whole fourth quarter, you messing up the church's money." Last two, go ahead. Oh,
no, you're exactly right there.
Oh yeah, he's talking about New England. They got their franchise QB in the top 3. And then he said the top free agent QB is Malik Willis. Malik Willis?
Really? What you talking about, Willis?
Hey man, he's the top guy, and everybody's like, "Oh, he's
nah."
I'm telling you what I've heard this all week. There's nobody else. It's unless Kyler Murray or Tua gets cut. He's the guy.
It's in the cards for one of them quarterbacks to be released and be available. I say, pretty much you can bank on that.
Do you want to take a guy that you don't think is going to work, or take a guy that's been? I don't know. The Shanahan system seems to rejuvenate people and rehabilitate people. He's with the Packers. That's LaFleur's.
Malik Willis is the best backup out there, is what you're saying.
He's the best quarterback on the free agent market right now.
And Baltimore's boy on the market, Hundley, is he on the market? I'm not saying he's better, but I'm just asking.
I don't know what his contract situation is. I don't remember seeing him like on the top 100s. There's like Malik Willis and I forget the other QB that's on there, but it's nothing like it's more so they're projecting the releases of Kyler Murray and company. So that's what we're looking at.
I see that.
Let's go ahead and wrap this joke up because we're right around the 1:30 mark. Final thoughts. Anything you want to promote? Anything you want to talk about? While you're thinking, I'll go first. This Saturday at Oxon Hill High School, PG County has their wrestling championships. I think weigh-ins start at 9. I think bouts start around 10:30. I'm told that one of the better windows is 11-1. Another window, because I think this is the finals, is going to be after 7. So if you find yourself not having anything to do, head over to Oxon Hill, check them out. It should be a good time to be had. I think there's food. I think the booster team is out there with food and everything. So bring your card and your appetite. And enjoy just some young men and women. Greco style wrestling. Go ahead, Jack.
Yeah, no, another field trip for the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network. Come on out there and hang out with your boys. We have a good time out there and get to know the kids, get to know the coaches, get to know the event. I recommend come on out there, check us out. Oxon Hill High School, as Midnight Rider said, 10, 11 o'clock, stuff's supposed to jump off. And some nice matches are scheduled between 11 and 1, and then championship matches, I believe, between 6 and 7 p.m. So it's a good old time up there.
All right. Well, thank you for watching. Thank you for participating. Thank you for commenting. We are the Sideline Junkies. This is the Thursday Night Throwdown. What we like to do all the time is invite you back because we're going to be here. Saturday morning, we won't have a gridiron because of some prior commitments to the wrestling program. We will have the WrestleManiacs at 9 p.m. And then Sunday morning, there's no better way to start your week off than with the Sunday Rise. And then we go into our Monday programming. But with that being said, he's the Gentleman Jack. That's the Boss Man B. The big guy KG had to jump early. We had Showtime Sarah and Matty Ice on the show with us to give us a great Winter Olympics actually kind of a round wrap up. And with that being said, with that being said, I'm the Midnight Rider. I will see you guys again. Come back and join us. Have a good night.